Most are shunned and feared by society's mainstream. They're the subcultures of Brisbane, with names like the Gothics, Swampies and Skins, displaying the badges of their chosen world in a wild variety of hairstyles and fashion. But are these youthful groups really so threatening, or are they the misunderstood victims of intolerance and ignorance? Lincoln Howes investigates.
People everywhere look at you and you're either accepted or you're not. And if you stand out to be that different, like the subcultures we're talking of, then they're not liked at all.
For example, tonight we were walking down the street here and we got things like, oh, you know, witchy poo, voodoo, rah, rah, rah.
Yeah, there's a fairly negative attitude toward anyone who looks a bit different. It's been described as xenophobia, which is a fear of anything that's different.
It's after midnight in the inner city. Brisbane's Expo 88 face to the world has long closed its smiling eyes in a flurry of expensive fireworks. The streets belong to the subcultures.
There's skinheads, rude boys, rude girls. You've got your swampies and your gothics, your yuppies, and then it goes from there.
It may seem a different language, but then this is a different world, populated by a number of distinct groups, each with its own music, fashion, and most importantly, philosophy. Their one common bond is a disdain for the restrictions of society's norms, rebellion against conformity.
Everyone else is the same. It's boring. We do it to be different.
There's something you believe in and there's something that is individual of your own expressions, you know, of yourself.
What's going on? What's going on?
The music, the fashion, the hairstyles, not so far removed from the vodgies and widgies of the 1950s and 60s, but perhaps these groups are different. Talk to any skinhead, gothic or swampy and they'll tell you this isn't a fad, it's a way of life.
It's your attitude, it's everything. You can't be accepted in a subculture just because of what you're dressing like, it's what you're thinking.
It's not just a fashion or a trend, it's what you are. That's just it, you express yourself as what you are.
You don't just become a skinhead by cropping your hair and buying a pair of boots.
Even within a subculture, you'll find an amazing number of divisions. Each has its own hierarchy, but for the most part, all coexist happily in the alternative world of Brisbane after dark. Appearances can be deceiving. The book doesn't always match the cover. Robert Burns, who describes himself as a rude boy, is 2 years away from a law degree. Andy Brownlee, at 26, has been in the army for 7 years.
A lot of the skinheads and that, but most of them have actually got jobs. And people don't seem to think that they're capable of getting a job.
For this group, the badge of rude boy is not worn cheaply.
Get a pair of Dr. Martin loafers with a full fringe and tassel, a pair of stovepipe pants and a Fred Perry shirt. You need a pork pie hat, maybe.
Total cost, $467. Like the subcultures themselves, the clothes are imported. But for the devotee, the uniform is vital.
To be in it, to be noticed as, oh, that's a gothic, that's a swampy, you've got to look the part exactly.
The look is designed to shock, the attitude's at times aggressive, but most of these kids come from singularly unspectacular backgrounds, with nothing more sinister in mind than a good time.
Parents shouldn't worry about their children getting into a particular subculture. It's like any other interest, depending on how far you want to take that. It's almost like an extended family, where if you get into trouble and you need help, then they're there, which in a way, it's a feeling of security.
What's going on?